Chandravadanam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sad Ekavaranam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Varam Pandetam Shubhadam Mad Ekasharanam Nyasi Swaram Sriharam Sri Siddhanta Saraswati Vidito Gaudiya Gurvan Vaye Vato Bano Riva Prabhata Gagane Yo Gauda Sankirtanai Maya Vadati Mingilo Daragatan Udriti Jivaniman Krishna Prema Sudabdi Gahana Sukham Pradhat Prabhum Tambaje Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswata Mat Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswata Mat Acharya Brinda Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswata Mat Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Is it on?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Shri Shri Prabhupada Jivanamritam Ki Jai Srila Bhakti Rakhak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. So we're on Life Nectar of the Surrendered Souls, Shri Shri Prabhupada Jivanamritam, Chapter 8, Surrender in Humility, Karpanyam. Jai Gurudev. Hey Gurudev. Okay, so we've just read finally Mahaprabhu's shloka. The whole world is empty in the absence of the Lord. And we'll begin now with number 29. Srila Sridhar Maharaj's introduction and summary. When in separation, Krishna's faithful sweetheart realizes her whole urge for living has been thwarted, even to maintain her body is felt to be a shamefully lamentable task. Shri Krishnaika Valabhayas Tadvirahe, I think we read this, Anubhuta Kila Prane Cheshta Vyartataya Dehayatra Nirvahasyapi Lajakara Shocha Vyaharavat Pratitihi. Yeah, we read it. Okay, my dear companion, without the service of Sri Krishna, Krishna's divine form, nature, and pastimes, all my senses have become senseless. Now, how will I be able to shamelessly bear the burden of these wooden, stone-like senses? This is a revered votary, means a great devotee who said this. And we discussed this already, that the senses are become useless when they're not able to engage in Krishna's service, because the realized Vaishnava has there's nothing there for him except Krishna's service. So without that service, it's like he's dead. He or she is dead. Okay, so number 30. Summary by Srila Guru Maharaj. His sweetheart, who lives despite intensely feeling his separation, thinks that even her tears are only due to her pride. Ati Visralambe Jivata Pranayinya Rodanam Api Nijadamba Matatvena Pratityate. Guru Maharaj's summary. Then, this is from Rudra, who is the name for Shiva. I don't know exactly where, or if it's a devotee named Rudra. I don't know. So anyway, when he was about to leave, he said, I am going. I heard his words without a care. As he left, From afar, he glanced back again and again, but I paid no attention. Now, upon returning to my house, which is bereft of Krishna, I am still living. Oh, my friend, see how I cry out of the pride of being the love of his life. Rudrasya, Rudra, must be a gopi. I never heard that name for a gopi. Anyway, this is the situation in transcendence when Krishna departs. There's nothing left, so they leave, go back to their house, their everyday life, from which they've completely divorced themselves. They come back to that life, and they feel so much separation, they begin to cry. But they feel that their crying comes about only because of the pride of being in contact with Krishna. So, the pure Vaishnava has everything, but he feels like he has nothing. And that's karpanyam, humility. This is reflected in this shloka. Particularly, the Vaishnava, the lady Gopi is thinking, these tears are just pride. I'm just so useless that even in this great feeling of mood of separation, I cry out of my own pride in having Krishna's association. So that's how they're thinking, and we take that as an ideal for us to look towards and try to emulate as is possible. Emulate without imitating. That's, there's always kind of a fine line there, but we try our best to be humble, but we understand the basis of that humility is this this notion of hopeless surrender in humility. So it's not as though we think humility in terms of our worldly experience or what the society considers humility, and we try to emulate that. But we understand this is developed humility based on surrender, and so we try more to surrender and be in that mood and increase our ability to to emulate this kind of mood. Okay, this next one is very long, but it's the end. Okay, this is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, Srila Guru Maharaj's summary introduction. A person who has attained to the acme of love for Krishna appears as one bereft of that love, due to the moment-by-moment growing insatiable desire to taste it. This indicates love for Krishna to be the bestower of the supreme fortune and the most rarely attained goal of life. Srila Guru Maharaj, in his Sanskrit poetry, tells us, practically the essence of the inner development of Krishna consciousness, the acme of love of Krishna, and then in Krishna's separation, the appearance of the devotee is one bereft, lost in that love, simultaneously increasing in desire to taste it. So simultaneously feeling bereft, empty, yet continuously increasingly desiring to taste that love. And this is the indication of that the Vaishnava has reached the supreme goal of life. And this is from the quotation is from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Labdha Shri Krishna Prema, this is Guru Maharaj's, Labdha Shri Krishna Prema Prakash Tasya Pratikshana Vardhanamana Tad Ananda Lolupataya Tad Araptivat Pratiti Tarashi Krishna Premastu Sarvocha Subhagyakara Paramasu Durlaba Pumartavancha Shuchitam. Rarely attained goal of life. So yeah, we can understand that this is not a simple thing that you read some verses from a high book describing what this is, and within a short time or a few years or whatever, you become that kind of surrendered soul. It's very rare. So we have to, understand, just like a PhD is comparatively rare. So to reach that position of PhD, we have to work, and we have to struggle, and give our practically life's energy to complete it. So what to speak of reaching the highest goal of life? It's not a simple thing that comes about by some kind of like Srila Prabhupada told us, like a mystical zap. Didn't exactly use those words, but it just doesn't. It's not conveyed in that way. It's conveyed by gradual reciprocal development of inner love with us, as reciprocated by Sri Krishna, based on our surrender in humility, karpanyam, desperation, and in that desperation, the attempt to surrender, in which the devotee always feels he or she is falling short. And whatever emotional feeling manifests from that, like tears or whatever different symptoms, as described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, they feel that it's just pride, imitation. So this is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Supreme Lord Sri Chaitanya Chandra. Oh, my companion, I do not have the slightest scent of love for Krishna, and yet I cry. This is only for the purpose of exhibiting my great fortune. Without seeing the lovely face of Krishna playing his flute, I worthlessly pass my days like an insignificant insect. Supreme Lord Sri Chaitanya Dev. So, high mood of expression, obviously, coming from Mahaprabhu. Again, that mood, that experience of transcendental love in separation is like placed before us on high, in a high place, but yet somewhat visible by the grace of our Guru. Not that the actual experience of itself is visible or attainable, but still within the context of translating this kind of experience into our particular level of reception. It's possible by the grace of Guru. We can get some inkling of what this is, and some feeling of what we need to do to attain this. And as we attempt to go forward in this, then our progress is overseen and always confirmed by the grace of Sri Guru, or we get chastised for not properly following. But the Guru is like with us like a father. And if we do something that's not beneficial for us, he'll stop us. And if we do something very positive, he'll encourage us to go forward. But this ideal of being in separation is obviously given emphasis by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's his real, genuine mood. And whatever manifestation of his connection and union with Krishna is always within the context of fulfillment of that separation, and then again return of that separation. So the predominant impetus in the loving exchange is separation. This separation in the mood of karpanyam, desperate surrender in humility. And this is the end of the chapter 8, Karpanyam. And Sri Sri Prapana Jivanamrite Sri Bhakta Vachanamritar Gatam Kripanyam Nama Atmano Dhyaya. Thus ends the 8th chapter, Surrender in Humility, words of nectar from the devotees in the life nectar of the surrendered souls, positive and progressive immortality. Okay, next chapter is new section. Sri Sri Bhagavad Vachanamritam, words of nectar from the Supreme Lord directly. So we have verses from the Gita, verses from Ramayana, verses from the Sringa Purana, from the Bhagavatam, from some of the Vaishnava Tantras, Tatraiva. There's many things saying Tatraiva. I'll try to understand what that is for tomorrow. Okay, Sri Sri Prabhupada Jivanamritam Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Raka Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Raka Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswatamat Acharya Brinda Ki Jai. Okay, so we're revealing chapter 8, Adi Lila. We read the summary yesterday, and it ends with only those subjects which were not discussed by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur in his Chaitanya Bhagavat have been taken up by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami to be depicted in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. In his very old age, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami went to Vrindavan, and by the order of Sri Madan Mohanaji, he wrote Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Thus we are now able to relish its transcendental bliss. Okay, Shloka 1. I offer my respects to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose desire I have become like a dancing dog. And although I am a fool, I have suddenly taken to the writing of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Kaviraj Goswami calls himself a dancing dog and feels himself a fool, but yet he's writing Chaitanya Charitamrita. Beautiful exposition of the life and pastimes and philosophy behind the full appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Not possible by any ordinary person. So highly surrendered soul, empowered by his guru Nityananda Prabhu, and also by the deity of Sanatana Goswami, Madan Mohan, and therefore Sanatana Goswami also. So, Bande Chaitanya Devam Tam Bhagavatam Yad Ichchaya Prasabham Nartyate Chitram Le Kange Jaropyam. Okay. Jaropyam. So I am a jada, a fool, in the matter of this lekarange, in the matter of this writing, this wonderful writing, chitra lekarange, this wonderful writing. I'm doing it, although I am a dancing dog. Nartyate. I don't see dog here, but somehow Srila Prabhupada has extracted a dancing dog from this. I think he's just saying I'm dancing as a fool. Okay. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is known as Gaura Sundar. I also offer my respectful obeisances unto Nityananda Prabhu, who is always very joyful. Jaya Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Gaura Chandra, Jaya Jaya Paramananda Jaya Nityananda. Paramananda, the most joyful. We have our friend Paramananda Das. Okay, text 3. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Advaita Acharya, who is very merciful, and also to that great personality, Gadadhar Pandit, the learned scholar. Jaya Jaya Dvaita Acharya Kripamaya, Jaya Jaya Gadadhara Pandita Mahashaya. Mahashaya, great personality, that Gadadhar Pandit. And Kripamaya, that Advaita Prabhu, who is Kripamaya, very merciful. I think there's a devotee named Kripamaya Das. He's our old godbrother, like my age, who is at Bhaktivedanta Manor, who has children who are also very sincere and, focused devotees. I've met his daughter, and she has a lot of deep devotion and understanding and feeling for the sensible approach towards the Lord in humility. Okay. Anyway, Kripamaya, very merciful. That's Advaita Prabhu. Okay. Next, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Srivas Thakur and all other devotees of the Lord. I fall down to offer them respect. I worship their lotus feet. Jaya Jaya Srivasadi Jata Bhakta Gana Pranata Hoya Vandan Sabara Charana. Sabara Charana, all their lotus feet. Vandan, I pray to all their lotus feet. And Bhaktagana Pranata, I offer obeisances to all the devotees. We must strictly follow the principle of offering our respects to the Panchatattva as summarized in the mantra, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. At the beginning of every function in preaching, especially before chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, we must chant the Panchatattva's names and offer our respects to them. So this is, because the Panchatattva, headed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, has provided us the entry into the holy name, is necessary to first offer them respects in our approach to making connection with the holy name and attempting to convey an experience of that connection to others through preaching. So first, meditation, praying through Panchatattva, using the Panchatattva Mahamantra. Okay. Next, text 5. By remembering the lotus feet of the Panchatattva, a dumb man can become a poet, a lame man can cross a mountain, and a blind man can see the stars in the sky. This is a classic shloka that through connection with the Lord, even the most disabled person can come to the highest realization. That's because Krishna is God, and the external capacity of a person it's just not a factor in the approach. It may be an obstruction, it may be helpful, it depends on the previous sukriti that works in to determine the birth along with karma. There's development of sukriti and ongoing karma that bring about our birth in different situations. And regardless of that particular situation, we can become elevated to the point where that situation doesn't matter. It's all consciousness. If we think we're that material external form that's produced by those things, then we're affected by the things that come to that form and that consciousness. But if we're beyond it, we sense, we know, we feel what's going on with that, but at the same time we've got resonance in a higher realm of consciousness, that is of the soul. So it's not as though the Vaishnava who descends into this world doesn't feel the suffering within himself. He feels it, but it's not that significant because of his consciousness that's situated in the platform of pure devotion. In Vaishnava philosophy, there are 3 ways for perfection, namely sadhana siddha, perfection attained by executing devotional service according to the rules and regulations; nitya siddha, eternal perfection attained by never forgetting Krishna at any time; and kripa siddha, perfection attained by the mercy of the spiritual master or a Vaishnava. Kaviraj Goswami here stresses kripa siddha, perfection by the mercy of superior authorities. And that mercy does not depend on qualifications of the devotee. By such mercy, even a devotee who is dumb can speak or write to glorify the Lord splendidly. Even if lame, he can cross mountains. And even if blind, he can see the stars in the sky. So that means, transcendental vision that transcends the limitations of the senses. You see with consciousness, not with the physical eyes. You walk with consciousness, not with the physical limbs. It works like that. Through surrender and deep transcendence, then the limitations of the material form are erased. Even though they're still there, even though they're experienced, something much higher, that higher Krishna consciousness dominates the experience of the devotee. Okay, so text 6. The education cultivated by so-called learned scholars who do not believe these statements of Chaitanya Charitamrita is like the tumultuous croaking of frogs. So I've actually met some, so-called like Kaviraj Goswami says, so-called learned scholars who look at Chaitanya Charitamrita as some kind of historical, cultural text, and don't see it for the living consciousness that's contained within the text given by Kaviraj Goswami. They have no idea of the transcendental realm that is carried by Chaitanya Charitamrita and revealed by Chaitanya Charitamrita by the grace of Kaviraj Goswami and his representatives in the line of our sampradaya. They, like he said before, total mercy they give to us so that we can see what this is. Otherwise, without that, it's just a text that has, they find fault, or they find fault in the translation and think, I can do a better translation, and go ahead and work on the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita and produce it and have it published by a university, and people who are, in simply, material academic consciousness study it and think they're getting the experience of Chaitanya Charitamrita on a, social, cultural, political, psychological, sociological, whatever view of, what's being conveyed in Chaitanya Charitamrita, what's going on in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Generally, it's reduced to, physical things, psychological. Religion is psychological or sociological, cultural. It has cultural origins and bases, psychological origins and bases, but no substance in terms of its actual, or at best, it's like, we don't know if there's substance or not, but because we don't know that, we're not going to study it or consider it. We're just going to look at the material side of things. But in some cases, there's scholars, particularly of scholars of religion, who give credence to that side of understanding that's based on faith, what the author intended to present, and what the actual practitioners are receiving. There's some who are trying to study in that way, and given full credence to the experience of faith, which is the right thing, because the life of these scriptures has to do with the faith of the writer and the faith of those who are following. And without understanding that, you can't really understand the scripture, what it really is. So there's some who are trying to enter into it, and these people are people who have faith, whether they're Jesuit people or Vaishnava people. They're making approach in an academic context, but with full acceptance of the reality of a faith beyond psychological and sociological causes. It's actually faith that comes from a real God. That has to be accepted, and those few in academia acknowledge that, whereas most don't, like Kaviraj Goswami is saying here. They're just croaking frogs. That's all they are. They say so much, but it has no real substance. So it's just sound, useless sound, like frogs croaking. Okay, text 7. One who does not accept the glories of the Panchatattva, but still makes a show of devotional service to Krishna, can never achieve the mercy of Krishna, nor advance to the ultimate goal. Heavy statement. E sabha na mane, yeba kora Krishna bhakti, Krishna kripa nahi tare, nahi tara goti. Gati, advancement or goal. Nahi, he's not going to make that goal. Krishna kripa nahi, he's not going to get the mercy of Krishna. And one who does not accept all these devotees, and makes a show, there you go, makes a show of devotional service, he can't get to the ultimate goal, doesn't achieve the mercy of Krishna. So Panchatattva is critical. You know, it's hard to come to that, you know, understanding. But this is, you know, given by Kaviraj Goswami, so we have to accept it and understand it in the, you know, the context of full faith and progress in devotion and what that means. That, you know, acceptance of the Panchatattva and their position is, you know, absolutely necessary in the entry into real service to Krishna. Otherwise, it must be on the plane of, you know, imagination. Okay, if one is seriously interested in Krishna conscious activities, he must be ready to follow the rules and regulations laid down by the acharyas, and he must understand their conclusions. Shastra says, Dharmasya tatvam nihitam guhayam mahajano yegata sa pantaha. Mahabharata Vana Parva. It is very difficult to understand the secret of Krishna consciousness, but one who advances by the instruction of the previous acharyas and follows in the footsteps of his predecessors in the line of disciplic succession will have success. Others will not. Srila Narottam Das says in this connection, Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nishtara Payechi Keba. Unless one serves the spiritual master and acharyas, Vaishnava Seva, one cannot be liberated. Nishtara Payeche Keba. Elsewhere he says, Echai Gosayara Munitara Das Tung Sabara Padrarenu Mora Panchagras. I simply accept a person who follows the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis, and the dust of such a person's lotus feet is my foodstuff. More Panchagras. So the lotus feet, all these of these Goswamis, these Gosais, Chai Gosai, is the foodstuff of Narottam Das. Means, you know, that the idea is, in our existence, is to nourish the soul. So Narottam is saying, this is my foodstuff. I take this to nourish my soul. Like we need to take a certain amount and combination of different foods to nourish our body. So Narottam here is telling us in a similar way, we have to take the descended mercy of the gurus into our hearts as, you know, as ongoing nourishment. And, you know, just as a child grows and develops based on his, you know, exercise and also his intake of proper foodstuffs. So, you know, intake of Shastra and, you know, Kirtan and these things given by the previous acharyas, and exercise in the practice of devotional service. These things are, you know, indicated by Narottam Das here, that that's what we should do. We have to have nourishment, and we also have to have practical activity. Okay, text 8. Formerly kings like Jarasandha, the father-in-law of Kamsa, strictly followed the Vedic rituals, thus worshipping Lord Vishnu. Interesting. Purve yaiche Jarasandha adi raja gana, Veda dharma kori kare Vishnura pujana. They worship Lord Vishnu by Veda dharma, the performance of Vedic rituals, and Adi Raja Gana, you know, the different various kings, like Jarasandha, they did these things, performed Vedic rituals and worshiped Lord Vishnu. So in essence, these verses, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita is very seriously stressing the importance of the worship of the Panchatattva. One becomes a devotee of Gaurasundar or Krishna, but does not give importance to the Panchatattva. His activities are considered to be offense. And in the words of Sri Rupa Goswami, utpata, disturbance. So, he's summarizing what people in the past did to bring us to the understanding of what, people in the now are supposed to do. And already he's given the idea of surrender to Panchatattva as the entry into service to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is the entry to service to Sri Krishna. Okay, next one. Krishna nahe mane tate daitya kodi mani. Chaitanya na mani le taiche daitya tori jani. No, I should have read the English first. Anyway, one who does not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is certainly a demon. Similarly, anyone who does not accept Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Krishna, the same Supreme Lord, is also considered a demon. Formerly there were kings like Jarasandha who did so many things according to the Vedic rituals. Following Kshatriya qualities and accepting Brahminical culture, but not accepting Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Jarasandha attacked Krishna many times, but each time he was defeated. So anyone who doesn't accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is certainly an asura, or demon. Similarly, one who does not accept Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Krishna himself is also an asura, or demon. This is the conclusion of the authoritative scriptures. Therefore, both so-called devotion to Gaurasundar without devotional service to Krishna and so-called Krishna Bhakti without devotional service to Gaurasundar are non-devotional activities. Okay, Kaviraj Goswami is stressing the principle that we must worship Gaurasundar, the Panchatattva, and in that way worship Krishna. Here Prabhupada is saying, Kaviraj Goswami is bringing out the idea of simultaneous activity. So we see in, Srila Prabhupada's setup for the deity worship, Archa Vigraha, Vandana, Puja, worship. There's Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Radha Krishna, and generally Jagannath. In the Gaudiya Math arrangement that followed by Srila Sridhar Maharaj, there is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna, and different manifestations of Krishna in different Shila forms. Like there's the very powerful Varaha Shila at Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, which has to be very carefully worshipped, as does the Shalagram Shila. And more kind and merciful is the deity that we have here, Govardhan Shila. So, simultaneous worship and development with the understanding that one doesn't enter service of Krishna without the service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is like crucial. To serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through the specific order of Sri Guru is the way in which we enter into Krishna's service. It's not as though we have some idea about the higher pastimes of Krishna and somehow or other think we can like jump over or leave behind our Diksha Guru. Yeah, you know, it just doesn't work like that. The Guru, you know, as is cited in so many scriptures, is Krishna himself and non-different. And to take indications in Shastra about following one's inner realization as some kind of direction to leave behind one's guru, you know, is never considered. Well, sometimes it's considered based on the, you know, the acceptance by higher authorities, like the case of Shyamananda, a very high case. But generally the case is one follows one's guru very carefully, comes to the stage of what is it? Anartha Nibritti, and from there begins to develop, you know, some feeling for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Krishna, and enters Krishna's pastimes through the service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is our understanding. Simultaneously, you know, developing an understanding and a feeling for Krishna's pastimes, as is done by Kaviraj Goswami, giving the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and simultaneously presenting the, you know, the high philosophical, theological, transcendental principles of devotional service, surrender, and love for Sri Krishna. Okay, so these people are demons, straight up, asura. Okay, did I read this? Krishna nahi mane tate daitya kori mani Chaitanya na manila taiche daitya tore jani. Daitya, demon. Twice it said. One who does not accept Krishna, daitya. One who does not accept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, daitya. So both need to be accepted. And it's, you know, heavy statement, because there are people, many people around who are following, you know, Krishna, and without the surrender to the Panchatattva. And you know, I don't know exactly how that works, because we have, you know, bona fide sampradayas, but they must bring them, oh yeah, that's right, they bring them to a particular stage of development in surrender and service to Sri Krishna, but do not enter into the, you know, the higher pastimes of Madhurya Leela. That's necessary to receive from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You know, that must be the meaning, because their sampradayas are genuine and bona fide. And, you know, Vishnu Swami was developed by Vallabhacharya, principally in Gujarat, and Nimbarka Sampradaya, principally around Vrindavan, I think. The Ramanuja Sampradaya in the Tamil, Kerala area, and the Madhva Sampradaya in the area of Karnataka, around the old Vijayanagar Empire, where Vyas Tirtha, a direct disciple of Madhvacharya, was the Raj Guru of the greatest of the kings there. So it was a Vaishnava city with Vaishnava armies and, you know, things like that. The whole thing was ordered and managed according to the overseeing of Vyas Tirtha Vyasaraj, who is actually, well, you'll find him in our line when we say the names of the gurus. So it's pretty amazing that that principle of, you know, surrender as given, you know, surrender to Krishna as given by Madhvacharya was brought about and manifested into a full empire. But of course, Madhva's idea, Dvaita, and following that brings one to, you know, association with Krishna. There's no connection with Radha. I don't believe in that sampradaya. Okay. Okay, so next we'll do one more. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought that unless people accepted him, they would all be destroyed. Thus the merciful Lord accepted the sannyas order. More na mani le sabba loka hobe nasha. Iti lagi kripadra Prabhu korila sannyasa. So Prabhu, Lord Chaitanya, korila accepted sannyas. For the reason of mercy, lagi kripayadra. And so he was seeing the loka habe nasha, the you know, the development of destruction for the lok, the people in general, you know, without accepting all this sabha. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Kirtanat eva Krishnasya mukta sangha param brajet. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra or Lord Krishna's name, one is liberated and goes back to Godhead. 1 Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter. This Krishna consciousness must be achieved through the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted sannyas, so the people in general would offer him respects and have the chance to quickly come to the platform of Krishna consciousness. So without the mercy of Mahaprabhu, one can't be elevated to the highest plane of Krishna consciousness. Shri Guru Gauranga Sundar Radha Giridhar Ju Ki Jai. Okay, so we end Chaitanya Charitamrita here. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Sangha Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswara Mat Acharya Brinda Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswara Mat Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai. All the world Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. So at the request of a couple of devotees, Saturday, this Saturday, tomorrow, at 4:20, we're going to have a short darshan where I'll answer questions and talk a little bit about Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because that's his appearance day, I believe. Appearance day? Yeah. So it's a very important day. But anyway, the class will happen at about 1 o'clock. And then at 4:20 we'll have the Skype darshan where people on Skype can connect and ask questions and stuff. I think you have to contact Ramananda Prabhu to set that up, and I'll have to ask him how you do it, but I think it would be through the Facebook site. He'll give you the Skype connections, or maybe he'll list it in Facebook. Anyway, everyone's invited to attend, and we'll have a transcendental exchange, reciprocal exchange, by the mercy of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Jai. Okay. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopala Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan.